Solace after 70, the uncle's late autumn, and a nephew's devotion. A true chronicle of kinship, patience, and the miracles of the twilight years. Uncle Abdul Ghaffar had reached the venerable age of 70 without ever knowing the bonds of marriage. A man of the rugged northern territories of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, he had dedicated his entire existence to the life of a nomad, tending to his camels and migrating with them from one pasture to another in an endless pursuit of verdant lands. He had a brother, a family man with children of his own, among whom was a devoted son named Ibrahim. Ibrahim recounts the tale. My father had spent years attempting to persuade Uncle Abdul Ghaffar to take a wife, and the rest of the tribe joined in these efforts, yet he remained steadfast in his refusal, unswayed by their pleas. Ibrahim continues, "It was my personal custom every 20 days to purchase supplies, rice, coffee, flour, and the like, and journey with my wife and young children to visit my uncle in the wilderness." During one such visit, as Ibrahim and his family stepped from their vehicle, Uncle Abdul Ghaffar rushed toward them, showering the children with kisses and warm embraces, his face radiant with a joy that only a lonely heart knows. Observing this tender scene, Ibrahim's wife was moved to tears. She turned to her husband and whispered, "Oh, Ibrahim, I implore you to counsel your uncle to marry. He is well advanced in years, and I fear the day his strength fails, and he finds no hand to steady him." Ibrahim replied, "Very well, let us perform the sunset prayer, and then I shall present the idea to him. I pray that God makes the path easy." Ibrahim narrates the pivotal moment. "After my uncle and I concluded the Maghrib prayer, I turned to him and said, 'O Uncle Abdul Ghaffar, among the most righteous deeds a man leaves behind are virtuous children who supplicate for him after he passes. You have reached a great age. Should death claim you tomorrow, these camels will be sold off to the highest bidder, and no soul will care for your legacy. Such is the way of the world. I am consumed by the needs of my own wife and children, and your brothers are similarly burdened." Ibrahim pressed further. "I told him, 'Marry my uncle, that perhaps God may bless you with righteous offspring who will be of benefit to you.'" To Ibrahim's astonishment, Uncle Abdul Ghaffar replied, "Many have counseled me so, but this time, Ibrahim, I shall heed your advice." Ibrahim acted swiftly. "First, you must liquidate your entire herd, and then we shall search for a righteous wife." The uncle agreed, saying, "I entrust the sale to you, Ibrahim." Ibrahim reflects, "I was overjoyed. The next morning, I announced to the connoisseurs of fine livestock that Abdul Ghaffar was selling his camels. His herd was known as Amak, meaning they were of an ancient, noble lineage inherited through generations, a pedigree that greatly enhanced their value." Though the uncle felt a pang of sorrow as the news spread, Ibrahim remained resolute, constantly reminding him of the joys of companionship and the blessing of children. "The camels were sold," Ibrahim says, "and for 3 months we searched across the land for a suitable bride, yet we were met with rejection at every turn. The families refused simply because of my uncle's advanced age." Ibrahim then suggested they look beyond the borders of Saudi Arabia, a venture that required a formal permit from the Ministry of Interior. Once the permit was secured, they traveled to Jordan. Ibrahim recalls, "Even there, many families turned us away because of his age, and my uncle began to sink into a deep despondency. Eventually, a man approached them, saying, 'I know of a man with a 40-year-old daughter, a divorcee. It is likely he will accept your uncle.' Ibrahim sought out the home and found a gentleman of noble character. The uncle began to converse with the father, discussing poetry and heritage, and a bond of mutual respect was quickly forged. Ibrahim formally introduced his uncle and requested the daughter's hand. The father agreed, contingent upon his daughter's consent. After 15 minutes, the father emerged with a smile. "She accepts." Overjoyed, the uncle entered for the Sharia viewing, the traditional meeting, and returned beaming with delight, for her presence pleased him greatly. The dowry was settled, and the wedding was set for a week later. Ibrahim recounts a chilling turn of events. A women's celebration was held and a luncheon for the men. As I sat at the feast, a stranger approached me and whispered, "Oh man, do you realize you have wed your uncle to a woman who is mentally ill?" Stunned, Ibrahim's mind raced with doubt. He decided they would remain in Jordan for a week to observe. He rented 2 adjoining hotel rooms. Only 2 hours after the couple had retired, Ibrahim was startled by his uncle's frantic cries. He burst into the room to find the bride clutching his uncle by the throat. In a moment of protective rage, Ibrahim moved to strike her, but the uncle commanded, "Do not touch her." When the storm subsided, Ibrahim asked her gently, "What is the matter?" She wept, saying, "A terrible pain seizes my head. It intensifies whenever my husband tries to draw near me, and I know not the cause." Rather than rushing to divorce, Ibrahim's wisdom prevailed. He decided to seek medical counsel. In the morning, they visited a renowned hospital. Upon examination, the wife described her symptoms, and the physician smiled. "I have identified the source of your suffering, and the cure is simple." She followed the prescribed treatment for 3 days, and her condition improved miraculously. On the 4th day, the uncle finally went in to his wife. They remained in Jordan for another week of celebration before returning to Saudi Arabia. The uncle's life was utterly transformed. God blessed them with 5 children. He named his firstborn son Ibrahim, in honor of the nephew whose loyalty had changed his destiny. Ibrahim's heart overflowed with happiness at the sight of his uncle's newfound joy. Lessons and insights derived from the story. Kinship and altruism. The story highlights Ibrahim's selfless persistence in seeking his uncle's welfare, serving him with a heart full of love rather than obligation. Filial piety and support in old age. It underscores the profound importance of having a legacy and a support system during the autumn of one's life. Deliberation and wise judgment. Had Ibrahim acted impulsively and divorced the woman instead of seeking medical help, the uncle would have lost a successful and blessed marriage. Seeking means and solutions. Most challenges, whether health-related or social, have a remedy. They simply require sound thinking and the effort to seek a cure. Provision knows no age. God granted Uncle Abdul Ghaffar 5 children after the age of 70, a powerful testament that divine bounty is limitless and never too late. The role of a virtuous wife. It was the keen observation and empathy of Ibrahim's wife that served as the primary catalyst for this entire beautiful journey. If you enjoyed the story, support us by liking and subscribing to the channel to see more.